And we are recording.
Okay.
So, what is your name?
My name is Andrea Ruthie Marie Varner.
And where are you from?
I am born in Riverside, California.
Now, can you tell me about your childhood? Describe your childhood and maybe your parents.
So, my father wasn't around. He was in the military. He pretty much was on heroin really bad. My mom left him because he used to pretty much steal everything.
Now, you were going over parents and upbringing, childhood.
Yeah, so my mother, she was also a drug addict. She used to be a prostitute, and she ended up getting into a lot of bad things as far as us growing up. Is that pretty much it?
Okay. So, did you graduate high school?
I graduated high school. I went to Job Corps in San Bernardino, California. I got my chef license, my high school diploma. So yes, I ended up putting myself in Job Corps because I was too old to actually go back to school. I was pretty much kept inside of the house. Pretty much locked away inside of the house where I wasn't able to finish school. By the time that I was able to get away from my situation, I was able to put myself in Job Corps. I kind of like forged the papers and stuff, and I made it through and I graduated. I stayed on campus, and pretty much after Job Corps, it led me into stability. So I was okay with that.
So, when you say the situation you were in, are you referring to the Jehovah's Witness situation?
Yeah, so.
Now, if you don't mind touching bases on that.
Okay. When I was about 4 years old, my mother stole some heroin. There was like a lot of heroin from her pimp, his sister and her. And they had left. No one knew where they were at, but they had left me and my brother with the guy named Fast, who was the pimp. Pretty much from her robbing him, he wanted to pay her back. Thought that if he did traumatic things to us, that she would pretty much pop up and return the merchandise. However, I ended up getting raped. My brother was locked up in a room that was in the living room, and I had to basically go through a traumatic situation of watching him. It was kind of crazy. They had tied him up with some handcuffs to the bed. He was on heroin real bad. This is how they was able to get the drugs. They tied him up, handcuffed him to the bed, took everything, left. They left us there. By the time that he came to, he was able to get out of the handcuffs. I was stuck in the room with him. I don't know what the problem was. You know, I know it now because I'm older, but I was just laying there with the bed like on the side of his bed or whatever. And those same handcuffs ended up getting put on me with a rag around my face and a blue scarf tying up my hands as well. And it was very traumatic. I really remember kind of like I would want to say God put in my frame of mind in a whole nother place, so, and then it had went from there to him basically just getting me and my brother, because my brother ended up coming through the room with the guy's gun. And basically the guy, I guess kind of like snapped out of it and was like, oh shit. So, he ended up taking both of us and taking us to It was a parking lot that used to be like on Chicago and Iowa and Riverside. It was kind of like a swap meet area. So he dropped us off in the parking lot and pretty much left us. It was crazy. This old lady who used to, she used to carry her little buggy, which you would carry a baby in. And she used to be a trash lady. She used to pick cans up and she used to go around the neighborhood and, you know, everybody used to talk about her. You know, she was just this homeless old little lady. Well, that was the only face I knew in the parking lot. She happened to be in the restaurant called Tony's. And as me and my brother were waiting in the parking lot, she seen us. We had caught eye contact. And so I had just went into the restaurant. When I got into the restaurant, I was standing like when you're waiting to get seated. So the lady came and was like, well, can I help you? And then that's when she was like, just come over. So she had 2 soups already ready, almost as if she knew the situation or whatever, but I knew she didn't know the situation. And then, you know, she took us in. We stayed with this lady for about...
And not to cut you off, how old were you at that time, you and your brother?
I was like 4.
Oh, you were 4.
Yeah. So she took us in. We stayed with her for probably like around 6 years. My mother ended up finding us. Okay. When she found us, she was with this other guy. And the guy didn't want to take both of us. He ended up taking just me, and he ended up leaving my brother and my mom. She was upset about it, but that's how it was because she was pregnant with my sister Jessica, and so they just took me. And at the time I was sad, but I was very happy because, you know, I was able to see my mom again. We were on our way to Kankakee, Illinois, from California. So on the way getting there, the car had flipped over. And so, you know, God works in, you know, and we're just upside down in this car. And then this stranger car came up and they pretty much put us inside their car. We're waiting at these people's house for like a week and a half, waiting to get to our destination. By the time we get to our destination, it's already a house set, you know, for us. Remind you, this is fast forwarding. By him being a Mason, Freemason, he really pretty much didn't have to pay for anything. Everything was pretty much there. So we had a house. This house was very haunted. I will want to say now that I'm older and can understand that this is probably where they held seances at, rituals, things, because when you go inside the garage, and this is when we just start playing outside around the house or whatever, you go inside the garage, it's like a big circle that looks like stars in it, and it has these spheres that are like shooting over to different planets or cities, or basically shapeshifters type of thing or whatever. And you know, it was just really weird to me. So I'm just looking at all these things, and then we had an episode like 2 weeks later of, you know, we were just scoping the house out. In the attic, it was a Ouija board. And this Ouija board, it was just weird. It really scared us as far as the kids. So we stayed inside the room. They actually played the Ouija board, and the Ouija board started moving on its own. So they asked a question, which was, is our marriage going to last? Is it in a good place? Well, the Ouija board started moving. It basically was like no, like, you know, and it was moving on its own. So they tried to take the Ouija board and now mind you, I'm thinking my mom doesn't know anything about this, but Now I'm like, okay, maybe she does. But they take the Ouija board. They put the Ouija board back in the attic, which was weird. And then from there, it was just really, really bad. I didn't know that it was a plot twist to this story until I got about 14 years old. So in the meantime, my mom, after she had my sister, she had pretty much had Jessica after that. After she had another daughter, he pretty much got mad at her because she couldn't bear him a son. Now, the reason why he wanted a son so bad, because his son, he ended up killing, which we didn't find out that until we ran into his wife in Kmart, and everything just blew up when she seen her daughter. He had actually had a daughter named Monique. And that was her first time seeing her mom, but from her understanding, her mom had died. This is the story that he had gave her. When she recognized her daughter, and she immediately started looking around the store, and she just darted out the fucking store, like she's scared for her fucking life. And so we're all like, so what the hell? But then she ended up calling us because my mom had exchanged numbers with her. Now she's telling the story like he had beat his son so bad, you know what I'm saying, and he ended up killing him. And so I guess his main want was to have another son. Well, my mother was going on her 6th kid. You know, the last 2 was girls, and so therefore the next person that would be on the list to have a child would be the stepchild that is not blood by him. So that would be me. And so just the order of how they were setting it in play for it to happen. So I was going to school, Longfellow in Kankakee, and I had met a couple of friends, which I believe now also were children of Masons that were his friends. And the only reason why I say that, because this girl wrote me a letter. She was barely my friend. I worry about her to this day. She wrote a letter that seemed too grown for us to even, write. It was pretty much about, hey friend, I pretty much got into a relationship with this black guy, but she's white, and I ended up getting pregnant. And when I told him that I was pregnant, him and his family, I didn't know, were moving out of state. So I don't really know too much, about his whereabouts or whatever. But my mom and dad are Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't believe in abortions. And what should I do? So she gives me this letter, and I take the letter, and I didn't even read the letter yet. I pretty much put the letter inside of the locker. When I put the letter inside of the locker, all of a sudden, here he comes to the school. He wants to talk to the principal. He wants to check on me because obviously he's saying to them that my behavior has been bad at home. He just came up to the school to pretty much check up on me to see what was going on with me. The whole time he was coming up there to get that letter. He goes to the house with the letter. He's traumatized my mom. At this time, I don't even know if she's part of it, but she was. And I get to the house, and then they're like, oh, what is this? Mind you, on the letter, the girl's name is Andrea, but it's spelled Andrea. My name is Andrea, which I don't even really know if the girl's name was really Andrea. I don't know if her father or someone that was grown gave her that letter and told her to give me the letter without even looking at it. Like, I don't really even know how the process even went. But when I got home, my mom pretty much slapped me and was cussing me out. Oh, you lost your virginity and you're doing all this and you're doing that, woo woo. And then he's like, oh, you're fucking, I'm gonna show you how it feels to be fucked, and you doing all this crazy shit. So, like, the whole shit had baffled the shit out of me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm really confused about what the fuck is going on. Really looking at my mom like, how the fuck is you believing anything when I haven't been to the doctor? I haven't, but I'm young now. I can say these things, and so I'm just like traumatized about the whole thing. And then it was, you will be on punishment. You will not be leaving the house. You will not be able to come out the room to eat. When you shower, there will not be no shower curtains on the shower for you. I must watch you change your clothes in your room. I'm taking the blinds off of the windows in the room so I can be able to watch you from outside of the house. You will be the last one to eat. Just a whole lot of traumatizing. And then I get to come out the room for like maybe 15 minutes out the day to say why I feel like I should be able to be free from the punishment. And I will be saying everything. Like, it had got to the point that I was just like, okay, I'm sorry. After like 20 days, it had got to the point. Now, mind you, my brother Aaron is chewing food up at the table, swallowing it and regurgitating it in a plastic bag to slide it up under the door just so I could have some food to eat. So at this point, coming out, I'm pretty much like anything saying right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't mean to do it, but at the same time, they're learning off of a book, how to break a person down to get them to pretty much volunteer to do it instead of it being, like it was forcefully done. And so it had just got to the point, it was almost like 6 months in. So I was able to go back to school like after a month, which was really weird because then it was like, every time I came in the house, he's sitting in the chair, and I'm the only one that's made to say, "Hi, Dad, I'm home," and I would never say it, and so therefore I would be back on punishment again. One time he tried to kick me out, and I got in the car with him, and he took me downtown Chicago and left me, and I actually stayed with the bums, and then he was like, get back in the car. So it was all these tactics, and then now, mind you, in putting this to the side for a second, when I was talking about the witch and warlock type of thing, so he used to tell us these stories about when he was in Chicago and how him and his mom and his dad had got into this big argument, and how he had went on the porch outside because he didn't want to hear them arguing, and he had looked over to the right, and it was this like standing humanoid werewolf, and it just so happened to look back at him, and he felt like he was cursed ever since then. These are the stories he used to tell us. One day, this is before I had actually it had made it to the point that he wanted me to have his child. This was a little bit before. I'm sitting outside, and I'm sitting on this this welded piece. I'm sitting on this welded piece from the street. It's a long driveway. Mind you, it's like these tall trees that go all the way around the house, like the little Christmas tall trees. It's a long driveway, and when you're driving down the driveway, the house is on this side, and right in front of you, in front of the driveway, is the garage. So my brothers and them are outside. Tristy, Jessica, my brother, his sister Sharon, and them are inside of the house now. Remember, I said the house is right here. When you drive down the driveway, the house is to the left. You go around, you can go all the way around to the garage. I'm on this side of the garage looking directly. I used to daydream a lot because we didn't have toys. Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in no holiday. So I used to just daydream a lot, and I used to could be able to daydream to the point that I would vision of playing on playgrounds and doing kid things. So I'm daydreaming, I'm to myself, and the same story that this man told us about. Okay, so behind the garage is another house. The same werewolf. Now, mind you, my brother is in the back with Tawandra making out. They back there being, you know, we all young. And my two little sisters, whatever, are playing over here grabbing berries or whatever. I'm the only one sitting in a daydream. Almost like the family wasn't recognizing that I was going through what I was going through. I was alone. The same thing he described. Hopped over the gate, ran around the gate, and directly stopped and looked directly at me. Passed, like, really without even stopping, just ran past me, looked at me. I don't know what it was in me. I got up because my brothers and them start running, but running around the what leads you to the back part of the house. You can open the door and be inside the house. When this thing ran around past me, it would be coming back down the driveway. Remember I said the house is on the left. Well, when you first walk through the door, it's the kitchen. And then the kitchen, the counter. So the thing disappeared. Like it disappeared directly into the house. And it was, when I ran inside the house, he was sitting on the countertop. And on everything in my soul, it just looked like it just went inside of the house, basically went back inside of him. So everybody's all tripping out. Everybody's screaming woo woo. When I get in the door, because I'm the last one coming in, he's looking at me with these words, without words. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, basically trying to prove to me that his story is real. Shit is weird, bro. It was going from that to